Okay, so we are going to apply this equation. So the equation's already done for us. This should be a little bit easier to this problem. So see if you can make sense of it, first of all. Okay, so we have this equation, and we know that like January x equals 1, February x equals 2, and so forth and so on. So what I want you to do is figure out how hot it is in Phoenix in the month of June. Okay, so you should have that in June, it was about 88.77 degrees. Okay, now I want you to look at this problem. So it's the same type of problem. And one thing that I didn't talk about in the last problem, because it wasn't really that necessary, is the B, but it's very significant. So let's talk about that. So, so this B in this one is pi over 6. So let's figure out why it's pi over 6. So if I were to find the period, it's going to be 2 pi over B. And when we divide by a fraction, we multiply by its reciprocal. So the pi's cancel out, and our period is 12. So that means that each one of these numbers down here represents a month, 1 through 12. So there's 12 months for it to repeat the cycle. So if I kind of think about it that way, each one of like January is going to represent 1. So my coordinate point would be 113. April represents 4. So 447 and so forth and so on. Okay, what I know is that the coldest month is January. So this is my minimum, and July is going to be the maximum or the hottest. So if I were to make a graph of this, I just made these like in 10 degrees intervals. So this is my temperature, and these are my months. So January, February, so forth and so on. So if you'll notice, it goes up and then it goes back down again. Okay, so see if we can figure out what the axis of symmetry is. So if my lowest is 113 and my highest is 773. So really all I care about is the 13 and the 73. See if you can find that middle place that cuts it in half, that midline, axis symmetry or wave of axis. Okay, so this is kind of crooked, but it should look something like this. So let's see if we can start turning this into an equation. So I'm going to find the amplitude. So that is going to be my A value, and it's going to be positive because it's going up. My B value, that's going to be the same as the other problem because we're dealing with 12 months. And because the axis of symmetry was, what was it, 43, that's going to be my K. And so the only other thing that I have is shifted left or right. And be very careful because this is, we're forced to sine. Remember, sine is where it hits that equilibrium position or that midline. And so that was at 4. So we shifted it to the right 4. Okay, so let's put this all together. Okay, so incorporating the A, B, H, and K, this should be our equation. So this way, we can find out like what the temperature is in March and what the temperature is in August, and we can kind of fill in the missing pieces on this graph. Okay, so for this section, we are going to use our calculator. So you will need a graphing calculator for this. Okay, so guys, I am at Best Buy's website, and I just grabbed their picture on here. So what we're going to do is, okay, so we are looking at this calculator here, and we are going to go to this button right here. And once you see, or when you hit that button, you're going to see at the top, Edit Tab Text. So we are going to go under the Edit tab, and number 1 is Edit. And once you have that, you're going to see this L1 and L2. You might have some numbers here
then go down area. The same thing for L2. So let L2 kind of highlight it, it's clear, and push down there, and that will clear out everything. Okay. Then we're going to go back to a split. So this is before. These can be a text value. We're going to put like in L1, we're going to put like 1, 12. And in L2, these are going to be our Y values. And so we're going to, so, yeah. So L1, what is it? At L1, we are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, on. And so I'm going to go ahead and fill in the Y value. So your L1 and L2 should look like this, all the way down. And you're going to go back to statin. So back here. And instead of going to edit, now we're going to calculate. So large numbers, so you know, 1 through 9 is going to be 15 letters. So it is letter C that you're going to want to use, and this is sign regression, SINREG. This is going to help us formulate an equation for the data that we just put in. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And when it's done, I give you this. Okay, so I just wrote numbers down that I'm seeing, and what this means is like we're going to substitute A and B up here, and our final equation is y equals 1.1 sine 0.55 there, x plus negative 2.35 right there, and then plus